The best part of the MARL experience for me was being able to get out to other centers in Minnesota and see some of the different industries that we have across our state. Being a professional in the agriculture world, I was pretty familiar with some of our more agricultural areas, but it was great to see some of the other industries that Minnesota has to offer.
I just think all the opportunities, the education aspect, the networking, talking with others, and it's others that you may not completely agree with, but it's great because we are not in a situation where we feel threatened. We can share ideas, we can learn from each other, and it's just the wide range of information that we learn about agriculture. Just for example, I mean, we learned about the lumber industry. What would that ever do for me down in southern Minnesota? It doesn't. But just that knowledge is so beneficial for me to talk to others and actually use my leadership skills. So.
You know, one of the things I liked most about my MARL experience was the fact that they pushed your boundaries. They pushed you to really taking in and learning in an adult professional setting, and it was tremendous benefit.
It is a big commitment. You are getting together every month, and at first that can sound like a really daunting task when you live a full and busy life. But I really enjoyed the people. If it weren't for my classmates and the alumni that came back to share their experiences or lead various seminar topics, I tell you, we had a break-in session in the summertime, and when we got back together, we were like, oh my God, we really missed each other. So I think the MARL program really has some great people, and not only is it the great people that are part of your individual class, but it's the people that are sharing their experiences, whether they be experts or alumni.
One of the biggest highlights for me was being exposed to all the different industry in not only Minnesota, but of course in Washington, D.C. and our international trip. We went to China, and that was an eye-opener for me. It was to see ag in a different country, and it was certainly different in China, much different than anything that we experience here in the U.S. And it ended up being sort of an ambassador trip because we met literally hundreds of different people involved in their ag industry, and we had roundtable discussions with them. They learned probably as much about us as we did about them.
Well, certainly we had great experiences in the class in our first year. Being in the inaugural class, you know, was always a unique opportunity. So a lot of great experiences there, but also a lot of great experiences as an alum with the other classes, now with the class 10. Just wonderful opportunities to get to know other people passionate about agriculture.
I would have to say the whole experience was my favorite part. I absolutely look forward to every class that I attended. I specifically liked the education aspect, leadership skills, the networking that happened, all the education opportunities, learning about different ag businesses and rural issues. I would have to say that's probably one of my favorite parts.
Probably my biggest surprise about the MARL program was how close I would get to my classmates. I was a member of class 5, so at this time we first met each other as a class 10 years ago. And I am in communication with some of my classmates on a weekly basis to this day. And I was just surprised at the relationships that we built.
Probably the thing that impacted me the most that I was not expecting to happen is this network of people that was developed through not only these 32 classmates of mine that I still stay in touch with on a regular basis. Some I see quite often, but it's also former MARL classes, and the ones that have come since mine are involved in activities that cross the path with mine. And so it's wonderful to have this network of people in addition to all the people that we were introduced to during the MARL sessions. It's a marvelous network.
I think the unexpected things is the network that you build, not only with the members of your class, but that network with the alum and working with them more than you maybe expected you would at the very beginning. The fact that everybody in MARL is passionate about agriculture, passionate about rural Minnesota, and you have that opportunity to work with them on many different projects and many different initiatives. And that's something that maybe you didn't realize going into the program.
MARL is a difference maker, and I encourage anyone and everyone who wants to grow in their leadership ability to consider MARL as one of their pillars to their growing experience. The network is invaluable, and the places you get to see across the state, nation, and the world really can broaden your perspective to make you a better leader in your community. Highly encouraged to be engaged in MARL.